Namaskar, brother.
Namaskar. My name is Prakash.
And what brought you to the path of bliss to Ananda Marga?
Well, I have been someone who reads a lot. So I have been reading a lot, not about Ananda Marga, making my own personal research. I grew up in a family of Christians in Nigeria, a middle class family. And reading the Bible and studying, the scriptures was a tradition that my parents insisted that we all go through as children. So when I got to university to study theater arts, I started reading a lot of philosophy, ideology. In fact, I did a whole lot more reading on philosophy than I did theater arts. And I read a whole lot of philosophy. And then sometimes in 2017, I traveled to the United States. I sought visa to visit the United States. And I wanted to go specifically in search of spirituality. So I made a lot of contacts with a lot of um, organizations. And one of the ones I found online was Ananda Marga. I knew nothing about Ananda Marga, absolutely zero. I had no interest, I had no knowledge about it. So I took my flight from Nigeria and I went to the United States. And, I arrived at Chicago airport and then went to stay with someone in a place called Champaign, Urbana in Illinois. And the next day or 2 days after, because there was going to be, an Ananda Marga, I think he called it Ananda Lina, meditation a meeting, which was supposed to last a few days.
What
So
year is
the
this?
next day I went and I met with, that was 2017. I think it was November 20, October 2017. I can't remember the exact date. So I met with Dada Veda, an Ananda Marga monk in Urbana. So I met the Marga monk. I've never met any of them before. And then we started talking about meditation, and he asked me, "You came all the way from Africa for this?" I said, "Yes." And not just you, I'm going to live here and I'm going to check out other places. I'm in search of a true spiritual path that satisfies me. And he said, "Okay." Then I stayed with him for a few days, and then we meditated together. I stayed with him for a couple of days. Then he initiated me, and I got lots of CDs from him. Bought a couple of CDs and a couple of books. Then he gave me some of his books on Baba. There's the one very small book, the Thoughts of P.R. Sakar, and then another very very tiny little book titled Light Comes, and I just kept on reading all of that and doing my own personal practice. After my initiation in the United States, I got a lot of books. I'm an avid reader. I love to read. And I came with a lot of CDs. So I really immersed myself deeply into it. I read all the books. I read every morning and evening. I did my meditations. I did my kirtans so regularly. And when I returned to Nigeria, I faced lots of challenges because first, a lot of people became inquisitive. They wanted to know things. Others thought I was crazy. I maybe I've gone nuts or something, because you can hear me every time in the morning. When I wake up after having my bath, I begin Baba Nam Deva Nam. And then people were saying, what's going on? What's wrong with him? You know? And after that, I'll sit in complete and total silence before I come out and do my normal thing. And people will want to say, what's this new thing? Now, what is new? You know, and because I'm an educated person, so many of them felt, well, he can't be stupid. He must know, he must have a reason for this. So a lot of people will come and the ideas sound a little odd and different. And some people liked what I was doing, what I was becoming. And I had a lot of young men and women always coming around my home. So my house became, almost like a mini embassy. I don't have a word to describe it. Then some people were coming in, and then we were singing curtains together. We were even creating our own curtains. And I started a group on Facebook. I called it the Nigerian Meditation Society, and we started posting, and we started letting people know that I'm not a religious person. This is not a religion. I just like this ideology and this philosophy, and I think it relates and it connects to everyone, you know. And we started meditating, and then I got across to Dada Danishananda, who is an Ananda Marga monk in Nigeria, the only one in Nigeria. And he was in a place called Abakaliki in the Bonny State, far remote area. I respect the gentleman because some of us wouldn't want to stay in that area, you know. And I met with him. I remember then there was a dada coming in from Washington, I think named Peter. I don't know his spiritual name. So we picked him up at the airport, and then we all drove to Abakaliki from Enugu State to Abakaliki. And I met with Dada Danishananda and him, and I got really encouraged. And then Dada came to Port Harcourt to meet with us. I think then he met about almost 10 or 11 of us, you know, and he initiated, some other young folks that were coming in. And immediately after that initiation and he returned, I became a subject of persecution, by a lot of individuals, especially the Christian community. And they felt uncomfortable just coming into church or meditate, and they didn't like it. And I kept on receiving lots of threats on my phone. Some said I have become demonic, that I am. Some said I have probably joined a cult. And some said practices that could endanger the lives of people within that area. And one night we were all sleeping when one clever person set the house ablaze, put on fire, and then we don't sleep deeply, so I was able to wake up. They claimed I was trying to create problems and so on, and I was even detained with the entire family and everyone, Port Harcourt, River State. And we saw that we were fighting against people who were determined to get rid of us. So I relocated in for almost 6 months. We kept on having problems, with the people around and with the authorities. They were looking for whatever reasons they can have to maybe arrest me for whatever reasons they couldn't find. So I had to relocate the family. I think that was December 27th or 28th. We relocated to Abuja. the federal capital, hoping, well, we will be safe there, since the people in Abuja, the capital of Nigeria, are a lot more educated and enlightened. So, and at that time, most of those people who got initiated, a lot of them felt discouraged and all went their different ways. So I returned to Abuja with my family, 2018. And shortly thereafter, COVID happened and we're all locked down. So we started afresh in Abuja. The family, the entire family our lives were disrupted. Our source of income all ended. And we had to start afresh, just members of the family. And the people in Port Harcourt were very happy. They felt, well, a lot of them bragged about it on social media, how they threw away the demons that were trying to corrupt their people away, how they drove away, some very, very bad, irritable, demonic people from their midst. So we came to Abuja, and I never gave up. And I continued doing what I've been doing till now. So all I've been doing is practicing privately as an Ananda Marga here. And later I began to understand that this is not the first time, that every time a Marga movement begins in Nigeria, that there are certain powerful people that get themselves together to bring it down and shut it down. But I refuse to be shut down as an individual. So I keep doing what I'm doing. Even this weekend, Dada Danish Shananda is coming to visit me this weekend. I'll be picking him up at the airport. We'll do a private meditation in my house. And then I've discreetly invited one or two persons to join us in my house here for meditation. So that's been my journey so far. But I don't give up. I read a whole lot. I do my morning and evening meditation. I do my, my kirtans. It has become a habit from 2017 till today, 2024. I can't wake up a single day without doing my morning meditation, singing my kirtans, and even when I go to places, recently I got also locked up in my hometown, Delta State, when they invited me for a contract on energy, renewable energy. I didn't know it was a trap. So I got there, and in the hotel, and when I got there, they took me again, paraded me before the police commissioner. And I said, what is my crime? They said, I'm a fraudster. I said, okay, fine. I want to see the charges. So who did I defraud? Who am I defrauding? And who is the complainant? And there was no complainant. And I was still kept for almost a month before Dada Danish Shananda sent me some money, and I was able to pay my flight tickets. No, he sent me some money. Some other person added to it so I could pay my flight back to Abuja. And then the crime again I committed was in the hotel. They probably heard me. And I've learned how to do my curtains very low so I don't have to shout. And even though my voice was still low, it still posed a threat. There are some people who just... So that's my story. I don't know if you have, but I'm happy. I'm enjoying it. And when I read Baba's story as well, I know how many times he too didn't have an easy life in his home country. So this is where we are at. So there seem to be some people with vested interest to make sure that Ananda Marga does not succeed in Nigeria or in Africa. Thank you very much.
Okay, namaskar.